One of my favorite aspects of Star Citizen today are the many diverse and fun ways that one can spend their time in the verse, in a way that I really could not have said was true even 1 year ago. On the Star Citizen Reddit, I recently discovered low-altitude pilots in a series called Dreamwalker by Tarad. Very impressive and exciting videos if you have not checked them out. Other players enjoy amassing huge fortunes through trading, where they regularly risk 1.5 million credits or the price to purchase a nice in-game ship for the chance to make 200 to 300,000 credits. I know that trading might seem like a boring way to play this game, but when the stakes are that high, pirates, asteroids, pad rammers, and landings can really get your pulse racing. Yet other players spend their days dogfighting outside of PO or locking down the airspace around Grim Hex. I think that a lot of players are going to gravitate to the soon-to-be-released PvP mode, Theaters of War. This mode will combine aerial combat with FPS PvP, which from all indications is going to be incredibly fun and addicting. I know that I plan to spend a lot of time there once it hits. But in today's video, I want to take a deeper look at mining. This will not be a comprehensive mining guide, as many have done that, and done that well. One resource I would recommend to anyone interested in getting into mining is Space for Games' Ultimate Mining Guide, which I will link below. Instead, this video is going to focus on my experience, what I have learned, and what I would not have necessarily expected coming into mining with very little experience from past patches. The first topic I want to cover in this video is how to calculate the value of a mineable rock or asteroid. This will give you a feel for how much you can expect to make mining, coupled with some of the information later in this video. To begin, let's discuss the method for determining how much a given mineable rock is worth, should you extract its valuable materials. First, all mineable materials are sold in units, and a unit is simply the mass of the material times 2. Therefore, to find the value of the materials in the rock that you want to mine, you multiply the percent composition of that material by the total mass of the rock. You then multiply that resulting mass by 2 to get the units of the sellable material. Finally, you multiply the units of that material by the selling price of that material. I know that sounds a bit confusing, so let's take a look at some examples. Here in our first example, we have a rock with a mass of 4,298.71. It has a composition of 4.99% diamonds, 22.69% corundum. This necessarily means that it also has 72.32% inert materials, but I don't really bother calculating the value of the inert materials as I avoid gathering them and their value is negligible. Multiplying the total mass by the percent composition of each material, we find that diamonds make up 214.51 of the total rock's mass, and corundum makes up 975.38. Multiplying both by 2, we determine that there are 429.01 units of diamond and 1,950.75 units of corundum. Diamonds sell for 7.16 alpha UEC per unit, and corundum sell for 2.65 per unit. Multiplying our units times our prices, we know that the value of the diamond in this rock is 3,071.72 alpha UEC, and the corundum will sell for 5,169.50 alpha UEC, or a combined 8,241.22 alpha UEC. Not a fortune, but this is a very average rock, and the values increase quickly as we look at rocks with higher concentrations of more valuable materials. This next rock is 3/4 the size of the last, but as you can see has very high concentrations of fairly common materials. Yet this rock is worth twice as much as the last, being worth 16,243 alpha UEC. This next rock is almost twice as large as the last and has a high concentration of gold, giving it a value of 24,771 alpha UEC. And this rock is about as large as the last, but has a significantly lower percentage of valuable materials. But because agricium is so valuable, 26.88 alpha UEC per unit, it is worth 33,655 alpha UEC. This next rock, with almost double the concentration of a high-valued material and a low-valued material, is unsurprisingly worth almost double the last at 70,225 alpha UEC. This last rock is the one that I have hanging in my study. With 2 high, 1 medium, and 1 low valuable resource, all at decently high percentages, this rock is worth an eye-popping 131,014 alpha UEC. More on this later, but even 1 mole could not hope to extract and carry all of the mineable resources from this rock. It could, however, get most, if not all, of the top 3, where the vast majority of the value resides. I am excited for when the ability to filter out unwanted materials from our saddlebags will be introduced into the game, as it will greatly increase the amount that a mole or prospector can make per mining trip. Rocks like this also get me excited for the potential earning ability of the Orion. With one small rock like this able to contain so much value, it is not impossible for me to envision a much larger mineable rock or cluster of rocks containing perhaps millions of alpha UEC in mineable materials. I have found it very valuable and enjoyable to be able to determine the value of rocks before I decide if I want to mine it, and I wanted to share this method with other miners in case they were not aware of it and might also be interested in giving it a try. Also, for those players that are curious as to if you can make good money mining, I wanted to provide some information on just how much mineable rocks are worth. As a happy Orion owner, I have access to both the Mole and the Prospector, both of which are amazing ships in their own ways. Spending time at their helms over the last few weeks, the following are my takeaways that I found surprising about each of them and that I think might be useful to know. I want to begin by stating that these observations are from the perspective of someone that plans to primarily mine alone, and for that I think the Prospector really shines. First of all, what I love about the Prospector relative to the Mole is that it is much more nimble, easy to fly, and easier to mine with. By easier to fly, I mean it starts and stops much faster, which is more enjoyable when trying to get to mineable deposits. It is much more energy efficient, and it feels like it can go 4 times as far before it runs out of hydrogen fuel. By easier to mine with, I mean that unlike the Mole, you can operate the mining laser directly from the pilot seat by simply activating mining mode by pressing M. Once mining a rock, I find the ability to move the ship while mining to be invaluable. As rocks are fractured, you can easily move around looking for pieces that you want to extract. Additionally, instead of having only the laser intensity as a variable to determine laser power, you also have distance from the rock. You can move closer and further from the rock to increase and decrease the power transfer to the rock. This allows you to much more easily control the amount of power you are directing into the rock during mining. For more delicate and precise fractures, I find that mining from a distance has the effect of lowering the laser's power and therefore allows for more precise adjustments. This also has the added benefit of additional safety, as there will be more distance between you and the rock in the event of an explosion. Continuing our discussion of the Prospector, I want to bring in the Mole so that the relative strengths can be seen through comparison. One of the primary determining factors on how much you can make in a mining run is how much it can carry. In this department, the Mole holds a significant edge over the Prospector. The Prospector can carry 32 SCUs of mined material, or 3,200 units. The mole, on the other hand, can carry 69 SCUs, or 6,900 units. The mole also has the added benefit of a total of 3 mining turrets on board, meaning that you can equip one very strong laser for cracking those difficult rocks, and then a second, more precise laser for breaking down very unstable, smaller pieces. I do not think that this is necessary in the current state of mining, but I do think that it could be helpful as CIG continues to tweak the mining gameplay. I do want to note that even though there is a size difference between the laser heads on each ship, with the Prospector having size 1 mining attachments and the Mole having size 2s, there does not appear to be any power or capability difference between the mining heads that can be equipped on each ship. So as a solo player, any rock that a Mole can crack, a Prospector can too. I recently created a video of a 2-man run in a Mole where we made 120,000 in around 45 minutes. In response, I had several people comment that this must have been an exceptionally lucky run. Now, I do not know this for sure, but I suspect that those players have primarily mined using prospectors, because indeed, finding that many good rocks in a prospector in that short of an amount of time would require extreme luck. However, in a Mole, I do not think that this is the case, and that is because of the difference in scanning capabilities between the Prospector and the Mole. The Mole has much better scanners. By my testing, the Mole has a scanning range of 7,800 meters in a perfect circle around the Mole, assuming that the scanner is set to the most wide range setting, while the Prospector only has a range of 2,800 meters. Using our good old geometry equation to find the area of a circle, which is area equals pi r squared, we find that the Mole can scan 191 square kilometers with each scan, while the Prospector can only scan 26 square kilometers each scan. That means that the Mole has almost 8 times the scanning capacity of the Prospector, a staggering and pretty surprising difference. Yes, it might not be as efficient for single-man operation as the Prospector, but the fact that it can so much more easily find rocks to analyze and potentially mine gives it a significant advantage. And this concludes this video. I want to thank you very much for checking it out. I hope that you found it interesting and informative. If you have any questions, suggestions, or comments, I hope that you will leave them in the comments section. If you enjoyed this video and content, I hope that you will consider giving it a like and perhaps subscribing to the channel. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next time.